And welcome back to Pokemon Team Creation Series. Today's Pokemon Team Creation Series video comes to us from JRC. What's the question? Why is Bulma Briefs Pokemon Team from Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, and Dragon Ball Super, and all subsequent Dragon Ball properties? Bulma's an interesting one. I didn't have a lot of problem, in my opinion, forming a team for her. It was more picking out the Mon that needed to represent what needed to be on the team, but I knew what needed to be on the team, and I knew there were Mon that represented that aspect. So let's just get into it. Right out of the gate, one of the things that we need to address is her capacity as a scientist and her intelligence. She is, I don't know if it's actually stated she's the smartest woman on the planet, or even the smartest person on the planet, but she is a genius. She is an inventor. She is rich. She is, she's always been this way. It's really, to be fair, it's really more heightened in Dragon Ball Z and on than it is in Dragon Ball. Though it is implied in Dragon Ball, certainly. Bulma's just a young teen at that point, though. And her adult years, the scientist of her was really showcased, particularly in being able to invent a time machine. The Dragon Radar is something they always had. Being able to learn the Namekian language, pilot a spaceship that she's never seen more than that one time. Bulma is extremely intelligent, so I knew I needed Mon that represented that aspect. And honestly, it's a 3-Mon trifecta we got here. It's a triangle of Mon they got that represent the intelligent inventor side of her. First and foremost, what is an inventor without the tools to invent with? Hammers, wrenches, gears, soldering, all that. So I like the idea of her having a Kling Clang on her team. This is because this is a Pokemon that just keeps building on itself. You got Clink, you got Clank, you got Kling Clang. Gears on top of gears, forming a mechanism. This makes sense to how she invents, creates, and, formulates. It is inspired to, and create machines. Everything along those lines, including her time machine. But we also need a Mon that represents the intelligence to do that. And that could have been a long laundry list of, Pokemon that could have been on there. Any psychic Pokemon would have done perfectly fine. For me, I wanted something more on the scientific side. Not like an Alakazam or something like that, but more on the scientific side. And for me, Metagross fell into that category. Now, Metagross, you might think, is like, do you need to go full Metagross for this? And my answer to that is yeah, because Metagross, in essence, is kind of a supercomputer. It's something like Bulma would have in her lab. Also, being a very rich, wealthy person, and been around now for, I think, how old is Bulma? I'm trying to remember actually how old Bulma is. By Dragon Ball Super, I think she's supposed to be like 38 when we get to the, or 37 or 38 by the time we get to Battle of Gods. So she's in her mid-40s by the time we get to near the end of Super where we are right now. At least that's the time frame I got there without checking anything. So having all the access to that and not being an idiot, she would raise her Mon to be, as high level as possible, raise her Mon to her full extent. So she probably started out with Beldum. I could see them roaming around the Briefs laboratory, but she ultimately ended up with a Metagross. Last but not least, we need a computer companion. Now, there's no AI that she has. She does not have a Jarvis or something like that on her beck and call at her command. But she is someone that, develops and creates. So creating a Mon to help her out would definitely be not outside of the realm of possibility. It could be in the cards, certainly. And something that represents the Dragon Radar, too, because I have nothing on this team that is a pure representation of the Dragon Radar. I just don't. That is about sensing, location, all that. But through a combination of these, you could figure out a method to do that. I went with Porygon Z. Again, an artificially created Pokemon that allows her to do things like within the cyberspace that she wouldn't normally be able to do. Maybe it's kind of like Gyro from Dragon Ball GT, where he ate the Dragon Radar and ultimately became the Dragon Radar. Something along those lines that can enable her to advance her work. Also, it's a versatile Mon, which gives her a lot of versatile options. So those are the three that represent the intelligent creating mechanic side of her, her personality identity. But what about the other things? Well, I would be remiss if I didn't at least put one Pokemon on here that represented her hubby, and then you need a monkey on the team to represent her monkey, her love monkey. No, but yeah, I needed a Vegeta on the team, and honestly, I think I did this with did I do it? Have I made a Vegeta team? Did I say it aloud? I don't. I don't think I know I've done Goku and I've done Gogeta. I gotta check the playlist because I don't know if I've done Vegeta yet. But I like Primate for Vegeta as a Vegeta representative. It's a monkey or it's an ape. It evolves from a monkey too, so there you go. And yeah, it's known for having a very bad attitude. And Vegeta, although having improved in his life, in terms of his personality, also has a somewhat bad attitude a lot of the time. So he's a grumpy dude. So ultimately, I think Primate just works fine. And obviously, Primate as its trainer, Primate would be a lot more soft on her than would be other people. Just like Vegeta, that's his Bulma. Despite his attitude, he does love his wife. I don't know. Do you think they ever have like just cuddle time, like Vegeta just relax? He's like, very well, cuddle me. Cuddle me! Yes, cuddling. I like this. Cuddling. Yeah, you ever think they have moments like that? I don't personally think so, but it is a funny notion, to say the least. Then I knew I needed something to represent her motherhood, or her fact that she is a mother. In fact, she's a mother twice over. She's Bra and Trunks. And yeah, I'm like, there's only one real mom Pokemon here, and that'd be Kangaskhan. And to be honest, whenever I get around to doing one for Chi-Chi, Kangaskhan's probably going to be on it too. And Kangaskhan's a protective mother Pokemon. It's protective of his child. Now, that said, and I believe it's kind of been implied that there was supposed to, at least initially, be a connection between the Marowak Cubone line and Kangaskhan, because they do seem to kind of seem to look alike, and Cubone does at least initially have the resemblance of a baby Kangaskhan and Mother Skull and all that. However, people have shown there is one picture of Cubone without its skull on. Does not look like a Kangaskhan. So, yeah. Anyway, that's just one of those fun connections. Like the Venonat Butterfree, Venomoth, Caterpie theory. That actually makes a lot of sense, those theories. But regardless, so yeah, Kangaskhan just makes the most sense. It's a Pokemon that is described as a mother Pokemon, is defensive as child. Granted, Bulma, unlike Chi-Chi, is a little bit more laxed with her child raising, but I think that's because she is a lot more not in the know. Chi-Chi's very in the know. She has the resources to make sure he gets good education regardless, and B, she's just not a tiger mom. She's protective, sure, but just like any other mother would be protective. So, still, Kangaskhan, I think, made the most sense there. And last, they knew I wanted something to represent the fact that she created a time machine. And honestly, except for, you can make the arguments about Koraidon and Miraidon right now, but while the implications are very much different thanks to all the leaks, there is nothing fully stated at this moment to officially state the time shenanigans going on with those two Mon. So, unfortunately, I can't use them right now. I can't use anything from Scarlet and Violet until at least we have a lot more information, or until the games come out. One or the two. Which hopefully, fingers crossed, people, we are finally, because everything seems to be leading up to this. We will be getting something this week. It seems to be that, or it's the next week. It's one of these 2 weeks, because we've now gone a full month without anything, and like, that's not cool, man. Game Freak, seriously, what the hell? So anyway, I digress. So I knew it had to be either Dialga or it had to be Palkia. Not Palkia. Dialga or Celebi. I knew it had to be one of those two. And for me, it's got to be Celebi, because while Dialga is the Pokemon of time, Celebi is the one to actually time travel. Now, Dialga, being the Pokemon of time, should be able to time travel, certainly. And it's very possible it can. In fact, by all accounts, I would be shocked if it can't. However, excuse me. However, Celebi is the one that's ability is to directly time travel. So, in that regard, that is the Mon that that I would choose to represent the time traveling aspect. Because right now, I mean, we got talking a little bit of the Scarlet and Violet stuff. We do know about the ancient species and the future species, the past and future forms. But that is, and they're called, apparently they're called like paradox forms or something, because they're just not supposed to exist. But that doesn't really work, even if I were to use them without even images for those specific Mons right now. It still doesn't work, because that's not exactly time travel in that sense. Nor can I use Koraidon or Miraidon, who that seems to be the theory right now going on with them, is that they are actually paradox forms of a different Pokemon. So yeah, at the very minimum, like Koraidon ultimately turned in, or Miraidon. No, Koraidon's the Scarlet. Koraidon ultimately turned into Miraidon. So either way, ultimately though, this is the team I have for Bowman Reeves. I like this team too. It's got one mythical on there, not even a legendary. It's got a pseudo legendary, and it's got a bunch of other Mon that are tough on their own right, and hopefully Primate. It looks like Primate might be getting some love later in this gen. But and in terms of balance, I mean, you got 2 Steel types, 2 Psychic types, a Psychic Steel type. The Steel type still obviously being weak to ground and ground fighting and fire. The Psychic Steel type is not. I'm trying to think. Is not alleviated of the fire or ground weakness, but it is alleviated somewhat of the fighting weakness thanks to the Psychic type. Although Dark comes in and plays a factor. I think Bug. It's got a high resistance to Bug though, which helps. The normal type, where you got Porygon Z, which again fighting. Fighting and I think Rock, if I remember correctly. 2 normal types. You have a Grass Psychic type with Celebi. So. Yeah, not the strong, an interesting type nonetheless. I'm trying to remember what Psychic Grass do they have. Times 4 weakness is the Bug. That's right. Other than that, though, they got their base weaknesses: Dark, Dark, Grass, and times 4 weakness the Bug, and then and Ice as well. So then you have Primate, who has just a strong weakness to Ghost, Psychic, it's Fairy. So yeah, still though, it looks like this is a team that is kind of is more or less pretty okay, pretty balanced for what it's worth. Not super balanced, but a lot more balanced than the last team I did. That's for certain. But anyway, that is Bulma's team. That is Bulma's team. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you folks for the next one. Have a good one.